where you store notes about what to do and when. Photos, complete with like indications of names, relationships. Memory books to record new meetings. Open storage strategies where you leave all the important stuff in places where you can see it, so that you don't have to remember where you put it, etc. And also, and importantly, very importantly, I think, very well-practiced routines for using and maintaining these structures, sometimes aided by caregivers and sometimes held in place by the Alzheimer's sufferer themselves. So you might say, well look, this just confirms the extent of their mental deficit, but I really think that's too quick, and I think here this is exactly where we risk shrinkage instead of capturing the person. So imagine now a world in which standard, as people nowadays say, neurotypical human brains had the same profile as these folk. And imagine that we gradually evolved a society in which the use of all their kinds of props and aids was the norm. And now reflect that, of course, we do have a society like that. We have pens, papers, notebooks, diaries, Palm Pilots, iPhones, etc. But we don't say of a successful artist, designer, mathematician or poet, oh, poor thing, she's not really responsible for that lovely painting, poem, theorem, design, but don't you see how she had to rely on all those props and scaffoldings to continually offset her own mental inadequacies? We don't say that of our ordinary selves. We just think these are among our achievements. This is part of who we are. And I think we should say the same about the Alzheimer's sufferer in their own environment there. So this brings me finally to Patrick Jones, a Catholic deacon from Colorado Springs. Patrick suffers severe memory impairments as a result of repeated traumatic brain injury, like about 7 independent, unlucky sort of bangs on the head. Nonetheless, he lives a surprisingly normal life. He's a working Catholic deacon in Colorado Springs. He became a deacon after the injuries, so with really severe memory impairments. If you met him today, he wouldn't remember who you were tomorrow in his biological system. He'd be able to do that. When he re-encounters his children, he comes around the corner, his biosystem doesn't know how old they're going to be. Are they going to be 4, 30? He doesn't know. Biosystem doesn't know. I'll get this right. It's not due, though, to any super high-tech interventions that he's able to live this kind of reasonable, normal life. He relies on some off-the-shelf stuff. He relies on a combination of Evernote, a popular software package, a map program for visualization called Curio, where you can sort of map links between lots of ideas, etc., sort of like a mind mapping system, and an iPhone. Courtesy of all of that, he creates massive webs of interlinked notes and pointers that allow him to retrieve information about who he's met, what's been discussed, what's been agreed. So when he was being interviewed by Gary Marcus for the paper here that appeared in Psych Today, What If HM Had a BlackBerry, Marcus gets in touch with him.